Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to solve one circular convolution problem using DFT and IDFT. That is using the circular convolution property. We are going to perform the circular convolution problem. Okay, so this question is a university question. So you see this question is asked for May 2018 as well as May 2017. Okay, the same data for same data they are asking, but the question, the way of asking the question is different. Okay, so it's a very important question. So using the convolution property of DFT, we are going to solve this problem, as well as using the ordinary time domain convolution method we are going to perform. Okay, so you first see the question. Perform the circular convolution of the sequences x1 of n is equal to 1 1 2 1 and x2 of n is equal to 1 2 3 4. Okay, so this question is asked for May 2018. So in this question, so they are not mentioning any method. Okay, so we may perform the circular convolution between these two sequences in a very simple thing, that is in a matrix multiplication method we may solve, or the graphical method, that is concentric circle method we may perform. Okay, so that performance, that is the way of performing matrix multiplication method, and the graphical method, it's a time domain method. Okay, so in order to perform the circular convolution process, we may use one more thing. That is one more thing. It is using DFT and IDFT. We may perform the circular convolution process. Okay, so according to the circular convolution property. Okay, so that is the same question. So they are asking for in a different method. You see, in May 2017, the same question, but the way of asking the question is different. But the answer for the two questions remains same. Okay, so you see the question. In an LTI system, the input x of n is equal to 1, 1, 2, 1. And the impulse response h of n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. So same data. Here they are mentioning it as x1 of n, x2 of n. But in this question, one sequence is input sequence x of n. Another one sequence is a impulse response h of n. Okay, so for one LTI system, input is given and impulse response is given. So the question is perform the circular convolution. Okay, between these two things, x of n and h of n, using DFT and IDFT. So in this problem, they are mentioning the method. Okay, that is we have to perform circular convolution only, but the circular convolution answer we have to obtain using the discrete Fourier transform and inverse discrete Fourier transform. Okay, so that means the second question compulsory we may use the DFT and IDFT only we have to solve. Okay, so we will see the two methods. Okay, so the first one, in method 1, in ordinary method. Okay, so this method is for usually this method, the time domain circular convolution method is asking for 2 mark question, but this question is asking for big question. So that's why we may choose the method, the circular convolution property method, that is DFT and IDFT method we have to choose. Okay, so first one, we are going to perform in a time domain convolution. So the method 1, so you see, the given that the x1 of n sequence is given, x2 of n sequence is given. Okay, so you see what is the length of the first sequence? That is the length means number of sample in a given data. So how many samples are there in a x1 of n? 4 samples. Okay, similarly in x2 of n also there are 4 samples. Okay, so already you know, in order to perform the circular convolution between the two sequences, the two sequences must have the same length. Okay, so here in a problem itself, the two sequences having the same length. That is, in first sequence also 4 sample is there. In second sequence also the 4 sample is there. Okay, so that's why no need to add zeros in any of these sequences. Okay, and so now we are going to perform the circular convolution between the two sequence x1 of n and x2 of n. So that is the x1 of n. The circular convolution is mentioning it as n. You have to put n and we have to circle the n. So that means this is the symbol for circular convolution. If you are putting asterisk means it is called as a linear convolution. So the linear convolution is different, circular convolution is different. Okay. So here x1 of n circular convolution with x2 of n we are going to perform. So already we solved so many problems in a circular convolution method in using graphical method as well as matrix multiplication method. Okay. So if you want to know more about that a circular convolution problem is, so I will give the link for that problem in the description box, and I code also you can check. Okay. So here the simple method, the matrix multiplication method we are going to perform in order to perform the circular time domain circular convolution. Okay. So in matrix multiplication method already you know the x1 of n, this x1 of n sequence 1, 1, 2, 1, we have to write it in column wise. Okay. In the first column you just write this given data 1, 1, 2, 1 we have to write. In the second column this last sequence, okay, you see the last sequence 1 we have to give it to the first thing. Okay. So this one you give it to the first sequence, and the remaining data we have to write as it is. Okay. So 1, then 1, 1, 2. Okay. Then similarly the third column is obtained by this last sequence you have to shift to first thing, and the remaining data you have to write as it is. Okay. Similarly in the fourth column this last sequence you shift to first thing, and you have to write these three values. Okay. So it will give the 4 cross 4 matrix. That is, if the data x1 of n consisting of 4 data means we have to make 4 cross 4 matrix. Okay. So after constructing this 4 cross 4 x1 of n matrix, we have to multiply it for x2 of n matrix. Okay. So what is mean by x2 of n matrix? The x2 of n is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you see the x2 of n matrix is 1, 2, 3, 4. You just write as it is. Then you have to multiply this x1 of n matrix with this x2 of n matrix. So the first row, okay, the first row is multiplied with this first column. So element by element. So the first element 1 multiplied with 1. So 1. Then 1 multiplied with 2. So plus 2. 2 multiplied with 3, 6. Then 1 multiplied with 4, 4. Okay, you just add these datas. We will get the answer is 13. Similarly, the second row multiplied with this first column, we will get 14. And the third row multiplied with this first column, we will get 11. And the fourth row multiplied with this data, we will get 12. Okay, so the x1 of n circular convolution with x2 of n, it will give the result is that this is 13. Okay, the first data it is a 13, comma 14. Then 11 and 12. Okay, so this is the circular convolution of the given 2 time domain sequence. Okay, so this is that time, that is this method of obtaining the answer is a time domain method. Okay, so time domain method. So instead of this matrix multiplication method, so we may use the graphical method also. So in graphical method also we may get the same thing. That is, graphical method is the concentric circle method we discussed, you know. So using that method also we will achieve the same result. Okay, this is the one thing. Okay, so if the question like this first question means, so you may solve simply using this method. Okay, but the same question is for in May 2017 you see. So here they are mentioning the method. Okay, so what is the method they are going to use? That is, perform the circular convolution using DFT and IDFT. Okay, so using discrete Fourier transform and inverse discrete Fourier transform, we have to obtain the circular convolution result. Okay, so the method 2 we are going to see. So in method 2, so what are the given 2 data? The x of n, the input applied to the LTI system is given, and the impulse response of that particular system is given. So our question is to, we have to perform the circular convolution with the x of n, the input sequence x of n and h of n we have to find out. Okay, so how can you find out this x of n convolution with h of n means? So in DFT, so there are different properties are there. Okay, that is linearity property, circular time shift, circular frequency shift, and the convolution property, then a periodicity property. There are so many properties of DFT is that. Okay, so here in order to solve this problem we are going to use the convolution property, that is circular convolution property. Okay, so already we in signal system we discussed the DTFT, that is DTFT properties, you know. DTFT means discrete time Fourier transform. In discrete time Fourier transform we discussed the convolution property, time shifting property, linearity and so on. Similarly in DFT also there are some properties there. So one of the property is that the circular convolution property. Okay, So as per this circular convolution property of DFT, so you see we are taking the two sequence, one is x of n, another one is h of n. If x of n, the DFT for the x of n, it is indicated by capital X of k, and h of n sequence having the DFT answer is capital H of k means, then x of n circular convolution with h of n. Okay, so x of n circular convolution with h of n. So this circular convolution answer, for that answer, if you are taking the DFT means the answer is equivalent to multiplication of this individual DFT answer. That is, what is the DFT of the first sequence x of n? X of k is multiplied with h of k. So using this property, we are going to find the answer for x of n convolution with h of n. So in order to solve this problem, so what is the first? That is, we have to follow 4 steps. Okay. So in the first step, we have to find x of k. What is mean by capital X of k? We have to find the DFT of the first time domain sequence x of n. We have to find out. Okay. This is the step number 1. So you see, in step number 1, to find DFT of the first input sequence x of n, that is capital X of k, we have to obtain. Okay, in step number 2, we have to find capital H of k. What is mean by capital H of k? It is a DFT of the impulse response small h of k. Okay, so the step number 2 is that we have to find DFT of the impulse response h of n, 1, 2, 3, 4. So for that sequence, we have to find the DFT answer. That DFT answer we are considering as a h of k. It's a step number 2. Okay, so the first step is we have to find x of k. Second step is we have to find h of k. And what is the third step means? We have to multiply the x of k and h of k. Okay, the x of k answer, 4 answer we will get. H of k we will get 4 answer. So that 4 answer we have to just multiply. Okay, this first element you just multiply. Second element multiply. Fourth. Okay, we have to multiply. So the multiplication of x of k with the h of k we have to perform. It is a third step. Okay, then what is the fourth step means? This product. Okay, so we have to take inverse DFT of this product x of k, h of k means we will get, that is a convolution answer. That is, you see, as per this convolution property, if you are multiplying this x of k, h of k, this product is nothing but it is a inverse DFT of the convolution of two sequence. Okay, that is, in reversely we say x of n circular convolution with h of n. If you are taking DFT for the circular convolution answer, we will get multiplication of these two things. Okay, so in reverse, if you are telling the inverse DFT of this x of k into h of k, it will give the result is that x of n convolution with h of n. Okay, so you see, x of n circular convolution with h of n is obtained by taking inverse DFT of the product x of k into h of k. So in fourth step, for this product x of k, h of k, we have to take inverse DFT means that is the answer for circular convolution of the two things. Okay, so these 4 steps we have to follow in order to obtain the result. Okay, so first step, we are going to perform the first step. What is the step number 1? In step number 1, we are going to find DFT of the first sequence x of n. That is, what is the given x of n? 1, 1, 2, 1. So how many samples are there? 4 sample. So we may use 4-point DFT. Okay, so you know, if the given sample is 4 sample means we have to use the 4-point DFT. Okay, so in order to perform this 4-point DFT, we may use the direct evaluation method. Okay, using the DFT formula. As per the direct DFT formula, we may find capital X of k. And another one, shortest method, already you know, using the twiddle factor multiplication method, we may obtain the answer in the easiest method. Okay, so here we are going to use the twiddle factor method. So this twiddle factor method is the shortest method in order to find the DFT, endpoint DFT answer. Okay, if it is a 4-point means the twiddle factor method is very easy. Okay, since the twiddle factor, the 4x4 twiddle factor is easy to remember. Okay, in order to obtain the 8-point DFT means the twiddle factor matrix is complex to remember. So at the time we may use ordinary direct evaluation method we may use. Okay. But in this 4-point DFT method means the twiddle factor is easy to remember. So that's why we are going to use this twiddle factor method. So instead of this twiddle factor method, you may use direct evaluation method also. That is capital X of k formula, you know, capital X of k equal to summation, that is summation n equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n e power minus j 2 pi k n by n. Okay, we have to perform it for k equal to 0 to n minus 1. Okay, so already we solved in a direct evaluation method. We calculated the DFT for some problems already we solved in the previous videos. Okay, so if we want to check how to obtain the DFT using the ordinary method and the twiddle factor method means I will give the link for that problem in the description box, and I code also you can check. Okay, so here we are going to use the twiddle factor method. So already you see the DFT answer x of k is obtained by the 4-point twiddle factor. W4 means the 4-point twiddle factor multiplied with the given time domain sequence xn. Okay, so what is that 4-point twiddle factor? It is a 4 cross 4 matrix. Already you know. So how to remember the values? That is the first row and the first column full and full ones. Okay, you see the first row and first column is purely 1, and the center, okay, remaining the first row first column, the remaining thing is the 3 cross 3 matrix. In the 3 cross 3 matrix, the center element is 1. Okay, then after this element, so you see these 4 diagonal values, are minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Okay, and these 2 diagonals are minus j, and these 2 diagonals are plus j. Okay, that's all. Okay, so first column, first row is 1, the center value is 1, then this 4 elements are minus 1, and these 2 diagonal values are minus j, and these 2 diagonal values are plus j. Okay, so you just remember this 4 by 4 twiddle factor matrix. Okay, so this 4 twiddle factor matrix is multiplied with x of n. So what is the given x of n? 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay, so this twiddle factor is multiplied with 1, 1, 2, 1. So you just multiply the first row multiplied with the first column. So 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 2 plus 1 into 1. Okay, so 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1. Similarly, the second row multiplied with the first column, 1 into 1, 1, then minus j into 1, minus j, minus 1 into 2, minus 2, j into 1, j. Okay, similarly, the third row multiplied with this column, this is the answer. Fourth row multiplied with this column, we will get the answer. Then you just add the elements. So 2 plus 3, 4, 5, 5. Then this one, this minus j plus j cancelled. Then minus 2 plus 1, it's a minus 1. Similarly here, 1 minus 1 cancel. Then 2 minus 1, 1. Similarly, this plus j and minus j cancel. Minus 2 plus 1, we will get the answer is minus 1. So the answer is 5, minus 1, 1 and minus 1. So the capital X of k value, we can write it as a just column wise 5, comma, minus 1, comma, 1, comma, minus 1. Okay, so the first step we got. So similarly, what is the step number 2? We have to find the DFT of the second sequence h of n. Okay, so what is the DFT of the time domain sequence h of n? It is indicated by capital H of k. Okay, so similar to the previous thing, the capital H of k we have to obtain using the twiddle factor matrix. Okay, so the 4 twiddle factor W4 multiplied with the H of n value. Okay, so what is the 4 twiddle factor multiplied with H of n? What is the H of n value? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you just multiply the first row multiplied with this column, you see. Then second row multiplied with this first column, you see. Then third row multiplied with column, you just add. The fourth row multiplied with this one, you just add. Okay, so if you are adding, we will get the first answer is 10. The second answer minus 2 plus 2j. The third answer is minus 2. The fourth answer is minus 2 minus 2j. Okay, so we have to write the capital H of k in a row wise 10 comma minus 2 plus 2j minus 2. Then the fourth element is minus 2 minus 2j. Okay, so step number 2 over. What is the step number 3? After calculating the x of k and the h of k, we just multiply these two DFTs. Okay. So x of k and h of k, you just multiply. So x of k multiplied with h of k. So what is the x of k value? So you see, as per the first step, the x of k value is 5 minus 1, 1 minus 1. So 5 minus 1, 1 minus 1 multiplied with, so here it is not a matrix multiplication, just element multiplication. So the h of k value is 10, 10 minus 2 plus 2j minus 2, then minus 2 minus j. Okay. So this is not a matrix multiplication, just element by element multiplication. So the first element in x of k multiplied with first element in the h of k. So 5 into 10, 50. Similarly, the second element multiplied with the second element of this h of k, and the third element is multiplied with this third element. The fourth element is multiplied with fourth element. So we will get 50, minus 1 multiplied with minus 2 plus 2j, we will get 2 minus 2j. Then 1 multiplied with minus 2, so minus 2. Then minus 1 multiplied with this element, we will get 2 plus 2j. Okay. So this is the product of x of k multiplication with h of k. Okay. So what is our aim? Our aim is to find out the small x of n circular convolution with a small h of n. Okay. So in order to find the time domain answer, the fourth step is to, we have to take IDFT. IDFT means inverse DFT. Inverse DFT of this product x of k into h of k. Okay. So already you know, that is we may perform this inverse DFT using that is conventional method, that is a equation method also, as well as the twiddle factor method also we can calculate. Okay. So here we are going to use the method twiddle factor method only. So what is the formula in order to find the inverse DFT in a twiddle factor method? So inverse DFT of this answer is obtained by 1 divided by n. What does mean by n? That is 1 divided by n. N means n point DFT. So here we are using 4 point DFT. So the n value is 4. Okay. 1 by n into W4 complex conjugate, that is the twiddle factor complex conjugate matrix. So what is W4 complex conjugate means? So in this W4 matrix, so for this W4 matrix, we have to take complex conjugate. So complex conjugate means the imaginary part, that is if in the place of plus j, we have to write it as a minus j. In the place of minus j, we have to take it, we have to write it as a plus j. That is called as a W4 complex conjugate. So in this thing, that is only this four corner answer. You say these 2 minus j is converted to plus j in W4 complex conjugate matrix. These 2 plus j, it is converted to minus j. Okay, that is the difference between W4 matrix and W4 complex conjugate matrix. Okay, so the W4 complex conjugate multiplied with this x of k into h of k value. Okay, this is the inverse DFT answer. Okay, this is the inverse DFT answer. So here, so 1 divided by, this is the 4 point, so 1 by 4 into, this is the W4 complex conjugate matrix. Okay, so in the W4 complex conjugate means the same thing. The first row, first column is 1. The center element is 1. This 4 elements are minus 1. Then these 2 diagonals are plus j, these 2 diagonals are minus j. If it is a W4 matrix, these 2 elements are minus j, these 2 elements are plus j. That is the difference. Okay. So this W4 complex matrix multiplied with the product x of k into h of k. So what is the value of x of k multiplied with h of k? 50, 2 minus 2j minus 2 and 2 plus 2j. Okay. So you see this one. Okay. So then similarly you just multiply the first row multiplied with the first column. You write the answer. Second row multiplied with column. You see. Third row multiplied with this one. Fourth row multiplied with this one. Okay. So if you are multiplying, so here this minus 2j and plus 2j cancel. Plus 2 and minus 2 cancel. So the remaining 2 elements are, one is 50, another one is 2. So 50 plus 2, 52. Okay. Similarly in the second one, plus 2j and minus 2j cancel. Remaining all values are plus. So 50 plus 2, 52, 54, 56. Okay. Then the third row, the minus 2j and plus 2j and minus 2j cancel. Then remaining, you see this all are minus, this is plus. So 50 minus 2 minus 2 minus 2. So the answer is 44. Similarly, in the last row, we will get the answer is 48. Okay. So already 1 by 4 is there. So 1 by 4 into this value. So each element you have to divide by 4. Okay. So 54 divided by 4, the answer is 13. 56 divided by 4, 14. 44 divided by 4, 11. And 48 divided by 4, it's at 12. Okay. So this is the inverse DFT. So therefore, inverse DFT of capital X of k multiplied with h of k is 13, 14, 11, 12. Okay, so what is this answer? This answer is a time domain answer. So the inverse DFT of the x of k multiplied with the h of k is actually the small x of n circular convolution with h of n as per the convolution property. Okay, so this is the answer. So you check the answer, the same answer we got it in the circular convolution, in time domain convolution also. Okay, so you see 13, 14, 11 and 12. Okay, in the first method, in ordinary circular convolution in time domain method also, we may get the same result, 13, 14, 11 and 12. Okay, so in any method, we will get the same answer only. Okay, but in a question, they are mentioning the method means compulsory, we may use that method. Okay, in this question, they are mentioning using DFT, IDFT, we have to perform the circular convolution means, so using the Fourier transform, we have to obtain the answer. Okay, this is the thing in order to obtain the circular convolution. Okay, so in one more time, instead of this 4-point DFT, their question is 8-point. Okay, one x1 of sequence is given as one 8-point sequence and x2 of n is given as a one 8-point sequence. So using DFT and IDFT, perform the circular convolution problem is one time asked. Okay, so I think it the May 2018 question. Okay, 18 question, 8-point. So if it is a 8-point DFT means it's a very lengthy problem only. Okay, so first we have to obtain capital X of k 8-point DFT. Okay, then for the second sequence we have to obtain one 8-point DFT. Then the two DFT we have to multiply. Then for that answer we have to take inverse, means that is the answer for the circular convolution. Okay, so this is the important question. So 2-3 times this part is asking. Okay, so you study this problem. So in the next video, so we will solve some more problems. Okay, so thanks for watching my channel and please subscribe my channel for more videos. Thank you.